Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true.
Welcome to Navtastic, a podcast about 8 seasons in a row. I'm Mr. Fernandes, and
I am Chris Jayawardena. Hello.
And we're about to review the episode Supermarket Sweep from season 4 of Laverne and Shirley, directed by Joel Zwick and written by Ron Leavitt. And we just got some facts about them, don't you, Chris?
Indeed, I do. So, Joel Zwick will start on. This was his 7th episode for the series. Once more, we're going to leave it to the audience at home to do the math on how many more episodes he has left for the show. We've discussed the number of total, so still got a lot more to go. In terms of trivia, this poor guy, of course, did a couple of Joni Loves Chachi gigs in 1982. I don't know. Say a quick, just like, I'm so sorry. My condolences for the poor man. We'll be back for this guy later with other notes and other trivia later in the program. So, written by Ron Leavitt. So this was his only episode for Laverne and Shirley, but after doing scripts on Gary Marshall or Lowell Gann's Mark Rothman shows, he wrote briefly for The Jeffersons and created sitcoms through the 1980s, including It's Your Move and Silver Spoons, culminating in his biggest success, Married with Children.
Yeah! Yes. Co-created it. You co-created Married with Children. I can tell you an even bigger fact about Married with Children and Ron Leavitt and what he did.
Yo for it.
They originally created the role of Al Bundy in the hope that Michael would take it. It was written for Michael McKean, the part of Al Bundy.
Interesting. Huh.
He turned it down. He turned down the role because he didn't think he could do it. He didn't think he could do justice to it, according to him. And he said, now you watch Ed O'Neill in that part, and you can't imagine anybody else being Al Bundy. So he thinks he did the right
totally.
thing. Yeah.
Oh, I suspect it only would have lasted a few years, maybe like 3 at most. But yeah, no, that's incredible. I can't imagine that.
For Michael, it probably just would have been too close to Lenny, so to speak. In a way.
Yeah.
Though Lenny is much sweeter and kinder than Al Bundy.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
No, the Bundy name made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, it was kind of cool. You get, so the show, so Laverne and Shirley gets, touched on by this person who goes on to these bigger, better things. But that's Gary Marshall. The guy had some weird way of attracting these up and coming talents who would go on to bigger things. But yeah, speaking to Ron Leavitt, he did pass away sadly at the age of 60 in 2008. So just want to give a little salute to Leavitt. He did a lot of shows that people have clearly liked, and he did a good job in this episode. So we'll get to that.
May he rest in peace. And here's what happens in that episode. While shopping at Slotnick's Market one afternoon, Laverne's whiny need for scooter pies results in Shirley leaving the line to grab the box and Laverne becoming Slotnick's millionth customer, earning herself 3 minutes of free shopping after hours the subsequent Friday. Shirley is heartbroken that she missed out on victory, and the girls' family and friends become insistently greedy in their request for more food. To be fair, Laverne has decided to sell the surplus she grabs during the shopping spree, and thus the girls decide to splurge on a plaster lawn ornament version of Michelangelo's David. 2 months worth of food money gone. Together, they talk Slotnick into letting them do the shopping spree together and splitting their goods. Will greed and infighting get the better of the girls? What do you think of this episode?
As much as I have a lot of fun with it, this is sitcom as hell.
Yeah.
And there are times it it's so sitcom it hurts. The parts that are really good are really, really good. The whole opening bit of them doing the shopping run, the Rice Krispies or Frosted Flakes, My Turn to Choose. And again, I say, this is the season of Thirsty Shirley. I mean, because think about this. 2 seasons ago, there's no way she would have agreed to, the whole thing of it contains a fun in the tub submarine. It's got 8 little sailors that pop up and help you wash. Who wants 8 men helping and watching you wash? Then the pause and Shirley going, all right, get another one. Two seasons ago, even just 1 season ago, never would have happened. So, it's like those bits, and that's hilarious. It's adorable. It's cute. I like it. I wish they would commit. Is Shirley going to come out of the bubble or not? But, but then, the whole statue thing is great. It's unexpectedly goofy. But when it comes to like the core plot and the message and the moral at the end, it's just it's kind of frustrating. I like it, but it's frustrating.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. The biggest problem with this episode is that you could see the ending coming a mile away because everybody gets so greedy. Everybody gets so greedy. The girls get greedy in their expectation that they're going to get a bunch of this food and be able to carry it back over the line in time, and therefore they can blow all this money. They can charge their friends money for food when they're, they're all equally poor. It's a lower middle class, and they're charging them all this money for what they can grab. Their friends and family all become horrible and greedy and nasty in a way, and try to manipulate as much produce and food and goods and meat out of them as they possibly can. Everyone looks really bad in this episode. Not a single person comes out as likable in a way. The girls do become likable and sympathetic. You can absolutely see Leavitt's darker, more cynical take.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
On both the sitcom world at large and the girls in this episode. It feels very Married with Children in its way without the toilet humor. It really just feels like the cynicism there, everybody's out for themselves feeling of it. We do get the hug and makeup and the fluffy part of things at the end of the episode, but the majority of it is everybody being as horrible as they possibly can because they're seeing dollar signs in their eyes. So, I was going to say the only person who comes off well in this episode is probably Frank, because Frank doesn't appear in the episode.
I was going to say Mr. Slopnik comes across okay because however, as the master of temptation, does that not make him the devil in this situation, tempting mankind and bringing forth their sins from deep within the bowels of their souls?
Well, if Laverne and Shirley is Gilligan's Island, perhaps it's true.
Wait, Gilligan's Island had a devil archetype?
No, there is that old urban legend that everybody is in hell. Gilligan's Island is hell, and each of the castaways is supposed to represent deadly sin.
Oh, okay. No, that actually makes... Wow, that's surprisingly fitting. No wonder that's an old theory. That theory's been going on. Okay.
Sherwood Schwartz insisted, nope, that's not true, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. But methinks he protesteth too much. But speaking of Mr. Slopnik, so we had a little moment of the guy looks familiar. Why is that? So that was Byron Webster, who played Warren in Lonely in the Middle, which was a season 2 episode, I believe.
Yep, exactly. Precisely. Perfectly precisely. Yeah. So we open up. The girls shopping is probably the best. There are 2 good scenes, 2 worthwhile scenes, and 1 really good plot thread in this episode. The first scene is with them all shopping together. The 2 of them shopping together, trying to grab their groceries at the supermarket. That's well handled, and that's funny, and it shows their personality conflicts, as you said before. I like the scene where they're actually doing the supermarket sweep, and they're trying to grab all the food, and then they screw up magnificently and grandly.
I was going to say that the supermarket sweep is very early to mid 1990s Nickelodeon game show.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. And then the very thought line of them having Dave and having this dumb statue in the apartment and putting shorts on the statue. All that's magnificent. It's funny and ridiculous and silly in the best of ways. And, I absolutely love it. So.
And I especially love Edna's addition to the conversation.
Yeah. Edna saying it looked just like her ski instructor. And being so into it, looking exactly like her ski instructor. And having so many wonderful, semi-filthy memories of said ski instructor. All that's wonderful. It's perfect.
It's good stuff.
I love her. I love everything about Edna. Yeah. I love little quiet domestic moments at the beginning. Them going out for the baby food and just ogling at it and saying, oh, maybe someday.
Mm-hmm.
And the Frosted Flakes or Rice Krispies debate. Which makes me ask, Frosted Flakes or Rice Krispies? What do you think?
Oh man. As a just one and done cereal, Frosted Flakes, but I love how Rice Krispies are super versatile for other purposes.
I'm a Rice Krispies person. I'm a Rice Krispies person. I admit that much.
I hear. Okay, let me also put it this way: being a gluten-free person, finding
Yeah.
gluten-free flake-type cereals is next to absolutely impossible. Rice
Yeah.
Krispies are fine. I mean, I think they make
Yeah.
them officially gluten-free because they realized, oh yeah, well, we just got to do is put in the little money for the extra certification, and we can get more sales. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And that's how they manage to score some sales and get people to freaking buy more cereal. And hey, as long as it makes you happy, as long as it's good for you, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
This is healthy and you can eat it and digest it. It's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. And my
Yeah.
body doesn't decide to cry bloody murder and I feel sick and have an asthma attack or something.
Yeah, anything like that. All those things.
Kind of weird when the thought that food that affects people normally can kill others. What a thought.
God, allergies. Allergies are amazing. Just think about that. Peanuts are like that.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of different things are like that. I love how Laverne's, once again, her kid palette comes out again with scooter pies and all of her desire for scooter pies. Then that one little decision ensures that she's the millionth customer and not Shirley. And Shirley's just so furious and so sad and so miserably sad.
Yeah, that part kind of bummed me out a little bit because
Yeah.
that level of jealousy kind of always bugs me a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
when it comes to, I don't know. I don't like the jealousy side with the two of them, especially with Shirley. It feels very unbecoming, you know, and it just feels like a typical sitcom TV thing. Like I said, like there are, actually, yeah, that is part of my feeling that this is a very sitcom episode.
Exactly, absolutely. It's very sitcom-y and very simplistic, and this one of those episodes people think of when they think of the show, for better or for worse. So
Right.
yeah, ultimately, yeah. Ultimately, it's one of those things where you're going to be very, very happy or very, very sad when you watch this episode because it's so miserable in a way watching Shirley being this depressed about it, and then they finally get the okay, and they're all really happy, and then oops, it turns out they can't work together under pressure like that, and that kind of echoes what happened in the game show episode.
Exactly.
They
Which is then the problem is that it's like yet another one of those, and it's like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
Teamwork is not their forte. Maybe grow them a little bit. God, I'm sorry. I'm starting to sound cranky.
Yeah. No, like honestly, they could have, said, oh, they learned a little bit from this. Maybe they can actually grow a lot from it. But they have not. They have not learned anything, and that's for the, I guess, existence, if not betterment. I won't call it betterment of the comedy. The utter weirdness of the security guard calling Shirley, "You little yum yum." Where that came from.
Yeah. I mean, that whole moment at the end is very weird. It's very weirdly Laverne and Shirley, but it's also just kind of goofy. Like Laverne posing, which is awesome and kind of hot, but it's also like, whoa, what the hell, you know?
Yeah. She just pops her buttons and goes, hey.
Yeah.
Well, she basically hauled her hooters out when for the delectation of that reporter. So
absolutely.
It kind of makes sense for her. It kind of really makes sense for her. So in the end, that works. In the end, that's a character trait that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, gracious. And then, of course, Carmine tries to help Shirley. Her screaming just goes right through him like a butter knife. A knife through hot butter.
Before the noise makes Carmine into Carmine, I did think it was very, very cute that he pats her head while she pats Boo Boo Kitty in the same way, and it's like practically in sync. That was very cute and very adorable. And it's Carmine, grow up. She makes the noise, and you deal. You deal. She is distraught, man. You take care of your girlfriend, your best girl. You don't do that.
Yep. And he even tries to mind Boo Boo Kitty. He does baby voice. She's inconsolable. It does not help.
No, and I did think that was pretty hilarious, though. I
Yeah.
wonder how long Eddie had been waiting to get a chance to do that.
Hi, Shirley, it's Boo. He does it, and then she tells him to grow up, of all things. And she makes that the voice. She does those sounds. So.
Yep.
Oy vey.
Well, it's also, I guess, I wonder if it's also like, to her, it's like, girls do that all the time. Boys grow out of it, which seems like a very Shirley belief to have, thanks to Lily Feeney.
Exactly.
And his hands on her butt.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
I mean, I get it. It's a great hiney. I mean, it's not much of one, but come on, Carmine. Jeez, read the room, man.
To be fair, they are boyfriend and girlfriend, so I guess the butt grabbing makes sense, but not when she's distraught.
Not when she's distraught. Have a little, just an ounce of. You mean you would have figured this guy has had so much bedroom time with so many women of a mature age that you would figure this guy would have learned a thing or two. You know.
Exactly. I absolutely love the fact that the boys' entrance line this time is hilarious. This is my favorite entrance line. You gotta sell them our garbage or other smelly leftovers. Hello.
That's good. It's very good.
And it gets her a Carmine who wants toilet paper and steak, because of course he does.
And some some Band-Aids after the door slams on him.
Yep, it's a Band-Aids. Yep. And the boys are in a way the least greedy person involved in this, because all they want is Bosco. Enough, as much Bosco as the girls could carry, but Bosco.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one item, and they continuously forget it too when they're in the middle of sleep. So, at least even though they're kind of driving a wedge between the girls and kind of causing them to fight by saying Shirley's a sap and Laverne did it on purpose. They mock her and call her dumb and why don't you run upstairs and see if I'm there? All that crap.
God, yeah. As you're pointing out, it's like it's weird. It's like it's some of these jokes in one form or another, and I guess that's also the catch. For other characters in a different form, some of these jokes would be fantastic. These lines, these bits, but yeah, as it is, it just, I don't know. It's a weird, like, because there's some parts of this episode that writing wise, it's weird that I gave Ron such a compliment, but before, now that I'm like going through the episode again, it's like, I don't know if I like this one very much.
Yeah. Like I said, it has Leavitt's tendency to make unpleasantness of the human condition.
Right.
And it doesn't really work out. I did like Shirley's line, you arranged for 2 morons to call me an idiot. It's perfect. Of course you would think that. You would say that. I did like, though, that sisterhood does once again triumph.
Mm-hmm.
And in celebration and cementing of their sisterhood, they go buy a naked statue together.
Yes. Yeah. worth every penny. My God, they're so
it's so horny in this episode.
So horny for that.
It's just classic statue era girls. Jeez, you can go see the full Megillah. You really want to look at an art museum. You can see everything. I like him because he's bare naked. Laverne's actual line. Beautimus. Utterly beautimus. I love the pointless bickering in a way.
Oh yeah, the little slap fight. Flap. Yep.
Yeah. And then, they're absolutely convinced that they're going to get to keep the statue and make money off of the situation and fulfill all their family's requests and needs. Only, they've puffed themselves up so much that the fall is coming. And so the fall comes.
Yep.
Spectacularly, they're very good and very athletic. And trying their darndest, this is some of the best slapstick in the show as they try desperately to stuff that cart. And then it's way too heavy for either of them to move. And then they're too heavy for either of them to manage to walk across the room. And all I get is a box of fish sticks and a box of scooter pies. Look! It's karmatic. It's O. Henry-ish. It's something.
Quick question regarding that scene. I mean, to comment on the actual physical comedy, very good. I love the tracksuits, the colors. You know, it's very,
Yeah.
even though it is super duper 70s.
Yes, very much.
Listen. We've seen those industrial films about bread salesmen where they go into actual supermarkets or supermarket sets of the 1950s or early 1960s. We know this is not what a 1961, 62 era supermarket would look like, or what their clothes would look like. However, it is still quite funny and quite amusing. And you pointed out the marching band version of the theme, is wonderful. But the thing I wanted to comment on, bring that basket home. Betty almost said something else, didn't she?
Yes. She kind of quasi cuts herself off there smartly, because she cannot say that word in the middle of the prime time lineup in the 1970s. So she quickly cuts
This is back when George Carlin's the 7 words you can't say on television were still actually accurate. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Precisely. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I loved Squiggy's line, make it 4 and you get a customer for life. And then that's right, Frank does request cheese. The girls, we never see him in this episode. And then Squiggy goes, let Frank get his own cheese. Grow his own cheese.
Yeah.
Grow his own cheese. Those are both good lines. We get another example of Life Guy Lenny in this episode. He's sitting there rooting for Laverne. You can hear him yelling for her to grab that, get this, get that. You can hear him, get that. And it's always Laverne. It's never Shirley. It's always Laverne out of his mouth. And it's great.
It's interesting. It is interesting.
He almost never says, come on, Shirley, get him Shirley. It's always Laverne. Oh, my God. And the point is squabbling, ruining everything. Yep. Boys don't get their Bosco bean dip.
Yep.
One of the best things about this scene, this particular scene, is the marching band version of the theme song, which is really great and really rousing. I think they use it again sometime in season 5, but I can't be 100% sure. And thus, the girls are hoisting the petard of their own greed, and it sucks.
Yep. And it's stereotypical, and it's predictable. You pretty much predict it by about 6 minutes into the episode.
Yeah.
It does pay off with or at the very least leads into the great physical comedy door thing when they come home. I mean, the timing is amazing, and you can hear Eddie giggling again.
Yep.
But it's so mad, slam, move, slam, jacket, coat. I mean, God, yeah. It's amazing. But it's... Yeah, it's like... And they... I don't know. It just doesn't feel... It doesn't even resolve. They fail. They kind of talk it out a bit. They, if you ain't got teamwork, you ain't got diddly. Words to live by. But it's like, okay. And? You got some more for us?
Yeah. I liked their attempt at reconciliation. The fact that they finally managed to sell Dave to Edna. Of course, Edna manages to... actually by the statue. Laverne breaks him off camera in this episode. I believe in the syndication cut, she tried to peek underneath his fig leaf, and it came off. I think it's either that or his head came off. I can't remember which one it is. But I saw it a long time ago in a syndication cut, and I haven't seen it since, and it's not in this DVD version, so it makes little to no sense. So,
yeah, just it is what it is, and it's like, okay, it's a rich person or not rich person, sorry, it's a poor people trying to get rich type episode crossed with a greed ruins a good golden opportunity mixed with friendship jealousy arc.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what happens. And it's in a word, it is I think it is time for us to over to the ranking area. Let us rank it.
5.
Yeah, it's about a 5.5 for me too. Do we want to embellish that? It's like I can embellish a little. I can embellish.
One thing I could say, I feel like I could take this episode and do it better.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
I know that seems incredibly egotistical, incredibly hubris. First of all, bite me. Secondly, I believe I can because of the fact that one of the things that happens when you have something that's completed is this is a thing about these types of episodes that feels very stereotypical.
Exactly.
When something's just a framework, it's a series of cliches. Someone who is free of those cliches can come in and punch something up and improve them.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a step that would have made this better. As it is, it's a stereotypical episode of the time.
Yeah.
And so therefore it works for the time. It has not aged well.
No, it hasn't.
And
Not at all.
that's my final word.
It has aged incredibly poorly. My problem with this episode is very simple. It's way, way, way too mean. It's way, 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 way too cruel. Everybody is flattened out and flanderized, and everybody is just one-dimensional, even for the show. I hate it when it gets to the point where it's all about, trying to pump as much money out of the thing. They're trying to get as much money out of the thing. And as much groceries as they can, in this case, out of the thing. And while this is ambitious and it's smart of them, and they really do need this to keep living their lives, because these are people who are just above the poverty line at this point in canon. And yet, I look at them, and I look at what they're doing in this episode, and like I said, there is not a single likable character in the episode, except for the guy running his supermarket, just trying to get this promotional gimmick on the rails. Everybody's unlikable in this one. The girls are unlikable in this one. It's just a mess. It's a mess in a lot of ways, but it's not horrendously offensive. So that's why it doesn't get lower than a 5. It's just watch the supermarket sweep scene, and you will have seen everything you need to see of this episode. That's my opinion.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Wow, that's a sour note. It's kind of interesting. It's but anyway, I think that about I guess that about covers it for today.
Yeah.
Is there any I'm trying to look through if I have any more comedic notes that I can note that just I don't know, try to uplift the. Well, I do have a big emphatic jealous Shirley no with a little sad face on it. That was one of my notes here. But yeah. Anything else?
I don't have anything to say either. I don't have anything to put up or put out.
Oh,
there.
wait, I just remembered something super important. Bosco.
Bosco! Bosco!
Bosco.
Bosco!
All right. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us for Night After Night Pod. And if you would like to know more, please join us at Night After Night PC on Twitter or Night After Night Pod on Facebook, Tumblr, WordPress, or Patreon. And if you would like to, give us a follow, give us a like, a comment, a subscribe, any sort of thing like that, would be super appreciated. We'll love you bunches for it. And in terms of, I think what's coming up next, I don't know. I'm feeling kind of squished, kind of pressed. I mean, I don't know. Maybe crushed is the case. Lisa, what's going on?
Lenny's affection for Laverne runs rampant when she gives him a pep talk and kisses him on the lips, and she is kind of reluctant to return any kind of feelings that he has for her. There's a song, there's a baseball game, there's attempted ship sinking, but the ship will not sink because they do such a horrible job of sinking said ship. This is Lenny's crush.
Well, it's good to know that I'm not the one being crushed. Oh boy. That would be awkward. Cool. Well, I guess we will see how that goes next time. And we'll see you then. I mean, I'm not going to explain how we're going to see you then. It's kind of this future technology thing we've been working on secretly in the lab. It's very high tech, very serious. It's going to take a scientist to explain. But anyway, we will hopefully have you join us next time, everybody. Thanks again.
Yeah. Bye-bye, y'all.